activate her with an identity disk. They explain that the permanence code is inside her because having seen it once is enough, but a quick analysis reveals that extracting the code by force will kill her. Athena doesn't care, but Ares stops the soldiers and messages Julian with his concerns. They have a chat in private and Julian reminds Ares that he's supposed to follow every order without complaint, so he wants the code no matter what happens to Eve. When Ares returns to the extraction room, he tells Athena that he couldn't talk to Julian because he's indisposed, so they'll hold the extraction until they receive new orders. Ares sends the programs away and Athena immediately contacts Julian to tell him that Ares is malfunctioning. Julian orders her to get the code and kill both Ares and Eve no matter what it takes. Meanwhile, Ares asks Eve who he should trust. Eve says that Julian can't be trusted because he considers everyone and everything to be expendable. At that moment, Athena returns with two soldiers who immediately get ready to attack. However, Ares drops his disc on the floor to open a hole that drops him and Eve on the outer grid. They hit many lights on their way down and end up landing in a dark liquid. Ares swims to her to grab her and uses a device to summon a bike that quickly gets them out of there. Athena realizes the duo is going to the transfer portal and sends out the drones. As they drive through the grid, Eve is amazed by all the lights and the coding. Ares explains that the transfer portal can send her back to the real world, but he'll only help her if she shares the code. He promises he doesn't want to help Julian anymore, he wants the code for himself. Soon the drones catch up and activate the beams, so Ares puts up a special shield around the bike. After Ares makes a big jump that leaves the drones behind, Eve agrees to take his deal. When the drones catch up to them again, Ares uses his disc to damage the tunnel, causing the debris to fall on top of the drones. A big explosion goes off behind the duo, but Ares drives fast enough to avoid getting hit and they jump into the portal just in time. In the Dillinger offices, the laser device brings Ares and Eve to the real world. Julian sends out his men, but Ares easily brings them all down in seconds. Ignoring all of Julian's yelling, the duo steals a van and drives through a few gates to escape. Then a furious Julian brings Athena to the real world too, calling her the new Master Control. She's given a glider and a digitalizing gun to go after Eve and Ares. After Athena is gone, Elizabeth slaps Julian. On the road, Eve tells Ares that she found the code in Kevin's files, so there should be a copy in Kevin's old system. However, Ares doesn't think they'll make it to the Encom offices in 29 minutes in this old van, not to mention they'll need a digitalizing gun. Eve stops at a gas station and convinces the clerk to lend her his phone by showing him her photograph in a magazine. She calls Seth and tells him to be at the office with a digitalizing gun, then she and Ares take the clerk's fast car after she promises the guy that she'll wire him the money. The duo appears on the gas station's security cameras, so Athena can track them down. Ares drives incredibly fast, but his great reflexes make it easy to dodge all the cars. During the trip, he tells Eve about all the things he knows about her because he's read all his files, including her texts with her family. She tells him how hard it is to deal with love and grief, and Ares finally understands that Eve is continuing her sister's work because it keeps her connected to her. Outside the Encom offices, Ares crashes the car to park faster. The duo meets with Seth and they rush to the museum floor, where Kevin's old computer is part of the exhibition. Once Eve has the code, Seth assembles the digitalizing gun, but before they can help Ares, Athena shows up. She doesn't attack though, and Ares realizes she's waiting for him to time out. He announces a change of plans and jumps through the window with the intention of fighting Athena, but Eve activates the gun anyway and sends him to Kevin's grid. Then Athena crashes through the window, destroying most of the museum in the process. She notices that Ares has already been transferred, so she also breaks the gun to prevent him from coming back. Seth tries to attack her, but Athena punches him and sends him flying. He crashes into some arcade machines and passes out. Eve tries to run away and Athena goes after her while destroying every machine in her path. Eventually Athena manages to corner Eve, but at that moment the sprinklers activate, and Athena is very confused by the feeling of water on her body. This distraction causes her to time out and she returns to the digital world. At the Dillinger offices, Julian is shocked to discover that Athena has forced the lasers to bring her back to the real world. He yells at her but fails to stop her. Elizabeth joins them and announces that she's convinced the board to fire Julian, so she's regaining control of the company. Her first decision is to shut down the project, but Athena stabs her with her disc to kill her. Julian is devastated, yet Athena points out that she's just following his orders since Julian told her to finish the mission by any means necessary. Athena brings two soldiers and a powerful vehicle known as Recognizer to continue her mission. Julian rushes to a computer and tries to override the system to no avail. In the Encom offices, AJ is shocked to see all the destruction. Eve explains what happened and convinces him to fix the gun. The group sees Athena coming in the distance and Eve realizes that as long as Dillinger's systems are up, Athena will keep coming. She tells AJ to use the gun that Athena dropped to hack into Dillinger's systems and get rid of their grid while she goes out to buy some time. On the street, people panic at the sight of the recognizer. Law enforcement tries to approach the recognizer with a helicopter, but Athena quickly shoots it down. Soon the military shows up in jets, however they're also brought down in seconds. Eve is running through the streets, so Athena sends out a bunch of tracking missiles to find her. A desperate Eve manages to dodge a few of them, but sadly the missiles still manage to form a light circle around her to trap her. At that moment one of the military jets crashes into the recognizer's legs, causing it to lose control and crash into multiple buildings as it comes down. In Kevin's 80s grid, Ares encounters a bit and asks for its help. The bit makes an old-style bike appear and guides Ares to a secret area where he meets a program manifestation of Kevin. Ares explains he doesn't want the code only for himself anymore, he wants to live to protect Eve. Touched by Ares' words, Kevin decides to give him the permanence code by putting it into his disk. Ares then uses the disk to step into a ray of light that takes him to Kevin's old basement. In the city, Athena leaves the recognizer in a tank and quickly captures Eve. With only a few minutes left, Athena drives through every vehicle in her way to move faster. Suddenly Ares appears in the middle of the road and his suit glows in new colors to indicate he's free now. He throws his disc at the tank and makes it lose control. It crashes and comes apart as several cars crash nearby. Ares checks on Eve and confirms she's fine. Athena soon reappears with 2 soldier programs and they start fighting Ares together. It's hard for him to fight programs that are on his level, but he at least manages to bring down the 2 soldiers, losing his disc in the process. Sadly the fight leaves him weak and he's overpowered by Athena. When she's about to kill him, Eve throws the disc back to Ares and he blocks Athena's attack just in time. Athena and Ares continue to fight on the street, and this time Ares has the upper hand. He cuts off Athena's hand and gets ready to end her, but at that moment AJ hacks into the Dillinger system and destroys their grid. The missiles start falling around the city and Ares holds Athena as she comes apart, turning into nothing but dust. Afterward Ares tells Eve that the grid needs her and he disappears before the police cars arrive. Later the media covers the incident and Dillinger Systems is already seen as the culprit. The police surround the Dillinger offices, so Julian activates the lasers and sends himself to the grid before they can arrest him. As weeks pass, Eve uses the permanence code to help humanity by bringing food and medicine to the real world at just the push of a button. One day she receives a postcard from Ares that reveals he's traveling the world in search of Sam and Cora, the only other program who ever escaped the grid. In the remains of the Dillinger grid, Julian finds a disc that used to belong to his grandfather. When he grabs it, his body is covered.